What's up, everybody? It says we're live. I don't know if anybody is out there watching yet. Got the comments pulled up, so let me know if you can hear me and see me and everything. Well, I kind of bum around and get my supplies ready. Ooh, let's see. Let's see how many viewers we have. This is a whole new live streaming thing. I haven't done it in a while, so they changed it up on me. So I had to learn how to do it. Up in this corner. I don't see that anybody's live. So we'll kind of hang out for a minute, wait for people to join. Maybe I'll check my phone, share it around a bit. If anybody out there's listening, share it too. Tell your friends. Might be something they're interested in if they're all quarantined at home. So should get it rolling here pretty soon. I'm all set up. Got my computer sitting on top of my lathe. You see all my stuff back here. I got another angle set up so people will be able to see what I'm turning too. Let's see here. One person watching, it says. Cool. Well, hello to the one person watching. Thank you for watching. Ooh, two people now. Sweet. Oh, that's probably the other person is probably me on my phone right now, so that doesn't count. But we got one person out there. That's the start. Whoever it is, give me a thumbs up. Tell your friends. Let's do some turning. All right, 4 people watching now. What's everybody up to? Drop me a line in the chat. Say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me if you're currently quarantined. It's a quarantine woodworking network right now. I want to start doing live shows because I figured everybody's going to be at home, probably sitting around being bored. I'd be out here turning anyway, so I might as well jump up on the YouTube and stream what I'm doing. Okay. Want to see what we're turning tonight? Let me switch my screen here. Or camera, I mean. So that's it right there. Hopefully this light doesn't blow it out too bad, but it's always nice to have a little bit extra light. I've already got it turned on the outside, so we'll just be hollowing it out. It's a nice piece of mesquite. We've got some crotch figure running through it. Might be hard to see. You go right down through there. Have some nice feather figure. So, hey. No LaCroix. It's bubbly. Same stuff. Competition from, this is owned by Pepsi. So, funny story. The people who own LaCroix also own Faygo soda, which is the Insane Clown Posse soda. So, there's your fun fact for the evening. Eric Sanchez, hello. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, it has been a while. I got a few more videos already done. Actually, I just need to get them uploaded. Just life's been getting in the way, building lots of stuff, and unfortunately, no time for a lot of video making or turning and stuff. But now I'm kind of forced to reevaluate what's going on, and I thought, you know what? If I'm gonna be stuck out here, might as well help them out or help people out with some turning info if they need it, and have some fun while I'm doing it. Maybe entertain. Lemon lime bubbly is a good one. I've got a lemon one right here. Double fisting tonight. So watch out. Operating power tools too. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's real crazy. It's hard to know, what to think and what to believe. There's so much information going around. Just Got to use your best judgment, I suppose. Oh, looks like we may have a guest. Let's see here. Add him to the screen. Is he going to come up? Mr. Nick Ferry. Hey, Nick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nice.
You didn't have to let me in right away. I didn't know where you were at with this, but I got my standing done. So
cool. Yeah, I haven't started turning yet, but I'm about to do that.
Very cool. You're making a bowl?
Hollowing out a mesquite bowl. Yeah.
Ooh, mesquite. How wet is that?
This one is pretty dry, so it's going to be hard. So I'll probably use my carbide hollowing tool for a bit of it, just so I don't beat up my bowl gouge.
Sure.
But yeah, it should be fun. I have the whole outside done. Just need to hollow it and finish the bottom.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. What are you working on?
I'm working on a desk for my wife.
Oh, nice.
Here, I can probably grab it quick, but
Colby Peterson, what's up, Colby?
Just 2 little pine frames, like Zoe.
Uh-huh.
And then that'll just go underneath some plywood, some diagonal bracing, and so yeah, she's working from home now, so she needed a spot to put her computer.
Nice. That's cool. I'm kind of playing around with this software here, bouncing around back and forth between stuff. So
there you go.
Trying to get it figured out. Looks like we got 6 people watching. That's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, I might start turning. Do you want to hang out, or do you want to just come back when I'm done? Or
yeah, well, I mean, because I wouldn't be much good for commentary, because
it'll probably be kind of loud. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't I just stop back? Why don't you shoot me a message or whatever? I'll check back.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Have fun with it.
We'll see ya. All right. Well, let's jump into it. We got 6 people out there. I'm going to just get to turning. And if anybody has any questions, let me know. I'll run through them, and we'll see what's going on after I kind of take a break. I'll stop in a little bit and make sure you guys can see what's going on. And, you know, if it's too loud, I can mute my audio. So let me switch the camera here. Maybe. So this is kind of an impromptu test session, too, because I don't exactly know how to do this. So there we go. Does that look good for everybody? Does it seem to be too blown out from this light? I can turn it off, but it sure is nice to have a little extra light when you're trying to hollow stuff out. I'll try to keep the light out of the... There, how does that look? Everybody good with that? Okay, looks good. All right, so I'm going to be using, you know what, I might make a few cuts with my bowl gouge, a 5/8 bowl gouge. This is a Thompson. We're going to my quick release. Make sure we're right on center. I'm going to drop this just a little bit. That'll do. Okay. Always make sure your lathe speed is turned all the way down before you turn it on. Wipe off my face shield. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm going to double check. Oh, yeah. Nice and tight, but never a bad idea. this stuff is hard and dry. Oh, might have to reposition the camera. See, I got to move the camera real quick. I'll set you back up in a minute as soon as I make a few of these cuts. I got a pretty long tool handle. Yeah. Turn that off. Yeah, this stuff is hard. Hey, what's up, Darby? Yeah, the tool will get hot, especially when the shavings are really dry, like this. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and switch to this tool here. It's a carbide cutter on the end of it, so it's going to rip through this a lot easier. I'll be able to move you guys back in a little closer here because I don't have to swing my tool at such a hard angle to start the cut. All right. That's what she said. right. Yeah, this thing, it cuts like a dream on this hard, dry mesquite. Just want to stop and check the wall thickness. Pretty soon I'll switch back to a bowl gouge because I'll be able to get a nicer cut on this than the carbide will. So hopefully get rid of the tear out. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's not much tear out, but let's see what we got for questions out here. Was that too loud for everybody, or you mean to mute it? I guess you guys can turn it down. That's your responsibility. So let's see. Questions. I'll cover the shavings now. Let's see. Scott has a question. I think we can we show the question? Let's see. There we go. I have a crotch question for you, Brax. You pointed out the feather figure before you started turning. It's up at the top of the bowl. Will it get turned out? No, it won't get turned out because it goes like all the way through. So you'll see it kind of going down inside of the bowl. Let me switch the cameras here. Let's see, I'm still new to all this. So that's it right there. You can just sort of start seeing it, and it's going to continue its way down through the bowl. It just kind of, it's grown, it's just where the two branches grow together. So it's continuous through the whole entire thing. I believe, anyways. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I guess we'll find out together. What else we got? Any other questions? Hey, it's Sean Rubino. Hey, Sean, how you doing? You need to get in here. Must be some use for all the shavings. So far, the best use I found is to scoop them up and put them in a garbage bag, and then I put that garbage bag out on the street to get taken away. But I mean, honestly, there might be. Sometimes I'll use them if I'm like smoking some pork shoulders or something like that. But for the most part, I just throw them away. It grows on trees, so I know lots of people say, "Oh, turn them into like fire starter logs and things like that." But I mean, in a perfect world, but unfortunately, I don't have time for that sort of thing. So I just sweep them up, throw them away. Okay. So I'm going to switch. Actually, I'm probably going to take a few more cuts with this carbide tool. And then I will switch to a bowl gouge for my finishing cut. Kind of work my way down. Once I get done with sort of the top section, then I'm going to be done with it. Hopefully not have to touch it until I sand it again. Or not have to touch it again until I sand it. But yeah, dude. You guys doing all right, Darby? You got to like shelter in place right now, right? That's probably not long for us. Everything's shut down. Every gambling establishment, every slot machine in any like casino or gas station, every piece of gambling equipment in the whole state is shut down for 30 days. That blows my mind. Crazy times. That's why I'm out here turning. Try not to think about it. Yeah, that's the plan. I believe I'll have a couple of, if everybody wants to hang out for that long, that's what I'm going to be doing anyways tonight, so I might as well do it live. I may have a few holes to fill, or not holes, but some cracks to fill on the inside, so that may take a little bit longer, but I'm just going to use some black CA, and it should go pretty quick. That's what I did on the outside. You can actually see, I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a little black line right there, but that's some CA as well that came through from the outside of the bowl. But let's hit it. All right, here we go. 8 people watching now. Cool. If anybody has any questions, again, let me know. If you really, really need me to answer your question quick, hit that super chat. Let's see. Scott says, everything in Albuquerque is shut down. Restaurants are takeout and delivery. Yeah, that's how it is here, too. Yeah, a little quarantine turning. Yeah, that's what we got to do. All right, here we go. Okay, that's feeling pretty good. I'm going to switch. Gonna have to move you guys again. Let's see, hopefully you can see better that way. But here's just it'll be just a quick cut. Reposition my tool rest. Cool, that's feeling good. Okay, back to the carbide. Cut away a little bit more at the bottom. So that's what I was feeling. There's a little branch in there, grown kind of crookedy. And every time I would pass over, it was kind of making my tool jump. Getting close, almost there. Sweet. Get that little branch turned out of there. Still a bit more that can come out. I'm going to come back with the bowl gouge. Switch out to my bottom finisher. We're pretty good there. Still a little lump down here in the bottom. Maybe just a little lump right here too, which is moderately unfortunate because usually when I get out to the rim, I like to not have to come back and try to clean it up. But luckily, I got a secret weapon for that. So I picked up one of these here from my friend Jimmy Clues. This is his teardrop scraper. So I can loosen the Allen wrench and position it any way I want. So I can drag a nice clean radius on the inside of the bowl, and it just takes off the lightest shavings. It helps clean up tear out, little ridges, lumps, and humps like that. It's been working amazing so far. I've had it for, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 months. And really, just within the past probably 2, I've been using it extensively and really, really like it. It's easy to touch up. You use a little diamond card to touch it up. When you can't drag a burr on it anymore with the diamond card, you can take it to your CBN wheel and put a new edge on there. But super cool tool. I'm also going to take a pencil and I'm going to mark where the lumps are. So I got a lump right there in the middle. I'll use my finger. I can feel another one starts about right here, ends about right there. It's really hard visually to see them, especially when you're dragging the tool across it. But if you mark where they start and where they stop, then you're going to be able to like see where to place your tool and exactly where you're going to want to kind of finesse to get rid of that lump without having to take off too much material. Ooh, oh man, check this out. What's my favorite podcast? WTA podcast. You already know what it is, Carl. Thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Let's get back to turning. The tool rest position is pretty important with this one too, because you want to be able to swing it on a radius, not really slide it. So sometimes you gotta just adjust it and make sure that you're hitting on the center, and then you still have the ability to swing it without having to slide it too terribly much. Okay. It's feeling good. Reposition it. I don't even know if this light's helping you guys or not. Okay, here's where the rim, we want to be very careful out here. Sometimes it's going to want to flex on us, especially when we've got it turning quick. So you're just going to be very, very light cuts. A lot of this we're going to be able to clean up with sanding too. Just want to take very light cuts. Whew, scraping a little bit there. This is a very small tool, so it doesn't have a lot of protection against vibration. It's not a big, heavy weighted type of tool, so it'll let you know pretty quick if you're not doing what you should be doing. I don't know if you guys can see too these really whispery fine shavings that are coming off that edge of that too. It's a really fun tool. And we're going to reposition here so I can get a nice angle. Whoop. Got you with my foot. Very, very light cuts with this. We're not hogging away material. We're just making these nice, whispery, light shavings. That feels pretty good. There's one more right down here. I always like to take a practice cut, make sure my tool rest is going to be in a position where I can, swing this around smoothly, not have to jitter, not have to, reposition my feet. All right. Yeah, I think that's going to about do it for the inside. It feels pretty good. A little thicker at the bottom, which is what I like. It kind of gives the piece weight and makes it less tippy. I've got a nice large base on here too, so this will be a good utilitarian style bowl. Still a little lump in the middle. Everybody else struggle with that? The middle is the hardest part for me. I'm getting that transition to where it blends perfectly right down to the middle and you don't have a little bump. And a lot of times I'll think it's good, and then I'll get done sanding, and then there's a little lump down there, and it drives me nuts. Still feels a bit here, but sanding should take care of that. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. 6 people watching. I sure appreciate everybody out there hanging out with me. If this is something you're into, let me know. Share the video too. That really does help me a lot. If you just hit share it with your friends on Facebook or whatever. If you think, or even if you're in any wood turning groups on Facebook or whatever, share it with them if you think anybody else would be interested in this. I have thought about just kind of doing maybe a weekly or a couple times a week little evening live show where I turn something, maybe lidded boxes or bowl. I can do a little bowl from start to finish, just any kind of, something that's going to sort of take everybody's minds off of what's going on and, get a little entertainment. I'm babbling on here and I've got to read the chat. Let's see. Everybody says they're doing good. Eric Sanchez, I'm in San Diego, tourist town. It's dead. That's before Cali was ordered to stay at home. That was just recently that happened, right? The California governor just ordered that shelter-in-place kind of thing. I knew there was a few different towns that were doing it. Pretty crazy. Let's see. I haven't been to San Diego in a while either. I love it down there. Lots of good breweries. Carl says he's doing well. Rex, do you turn up the speed Jimmy style for those refining shear scrapes? I do turn the speed up, but I'm not brave enough to turn it up as fast as Jimmy turns it. Sometimes I do. It depends on the wood. This one, the mesquite's nice and dense and hard. Usually the cuts are good, so I don't have to worry about cranking it up like too much. But I definitely do like to, add a little extra speed when I do this. Next up is going to be everybody's favorite, sanding. So let me switch that over, and I'll start sanding. Okay. Put away that light. Maybe you guys can see a little bit better. If I can bring you even closer here. And there's shout out Ty Moser, Monoloca Workshop, SKP forever. Okay, let's get standing. This one looks like we'll have a few little cracks to fill on the inside. Not going to be a big deal, so I can walk you through that process too, how I fill cracks. Ooh, I think I just seen Patrick out there. Ooh, Wood by Colin, what's up? How you doing? Patrick, you guys are in the right spot. 10 people watching now. Share it with your friends. Let them know. Let's see if we can get 15 people watching. All right. I'm going to turn the speed down a little bit for the sanding. I'm going to catch this edge. Always really important to sand that because it can get super, super sharp. It'll slice you. You won't even be thinking about it. All of a sudden, your hand will brush against it. And you'll be bleeding and you won't know why. I'm sanding with a little, this is an old 320 sanding sponge. I like to wrap my sandpaper around it. And that kind of protects my hands so it doesn't burn so bad. Should be able to sand this one up pretty quick, starting with 150. Got about 500 RPM. Get right up in here. Sometimes the sanding sponge is a little thick, so in that case, I'll double up the paper, and that'll help from keeping your fingers from burning. That's really the main problem, is burning fingers. First grit's the most important. Every grit after that is basically taking out the scratches from the first grit that you use. If you've got any lumps or bumps, this is the time to get it out. The progressively finer paper isn't going to really work well to take those other imperfections out. So spend a little bit of extra time with the lower grits. There's something right in the middle. There's always, like I said, the middle always gives me the most issues. So I'll do a little spot sanding with the lathe off and try to take care of that. It's not going to matter too much if you leave some kind of weird scratches because you're going to go through it with all the rest of the grits. So just as long as what I like to do is feel all over the place, make sure there's nothing that really stands out to my fingertips. Everything feels nice and smooth in this. There'll be a little right here on the crotch part. Get her once more over. I will see you, Scott, and that's if you already left, but thanks for joining me. Keep an eye out for other ones. Okay. Put our 150 over there. Okay. We're looking pretty good. Unfortunately, when you're filling cracks and things, you need to sand it all the way up to finish sanding, which in my case will be 600. I'll put a sanding sealer on it, and that will kind of seal the pores of the wood and won't allow the glue. I'm just using that Starbond Black CA to fill these, and that won't allow it to seep down into the pores, especially here in the end grain. So I'm gonna rip through these grits real fast, and we'll put a sanding sealer on there. I like to sand in reverse, forward in reverse, forward in reverse. I like to alternate them between grits. I don't know if it makes a difference, but my lathe goes backwards, so I might as well take advantage of it. Kind of counterclockwise, small circles, working my way around. See what we got. Still a little bit right there. I must have missed with the 150. Okay. I like to blow it off between grits. Okay, 400 there. Blow it off. Whoop. Too excited to finish here. All right, what's Carl say? Just finishing up with 600. Okay, she's looking pretty good. Let me get my sanding sealer. This will be the fun part. see what we got going on in the chat here. No, this was not a tree an hour ago. This was like a tree probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. She's been patiently waiting. This is just a sanding sealer that I mix myself. 50% denatured alcohol, 50% Zinser Bullseye shellac. Let's see, reverse. Do I use the grub screw to lock your chuck to the spindle then? I've had problems and without, so I go forward with the chuck. No, I have never had an issue with it. I could see how, or I know that some people have. Usually I only put mine in reverse when I'm sanding, and I make sure that it's, you know, nice and snug on there, so there's never a whole lot of pressure or anything like that. I have experienced problems with it when I have like a big giant bowl on there, but something like this, I haven't really had a problem. So yeah, we kind of lost a little bit of the feather figure through there. It could be because I didn't go thin enough or just didn't come through, but Scott's not here anymore, so we'll have to tell him. Let's let this dry for a little bit. Switch the old camera. How many people we got out there now? Ooh, look at that. Pretty good. I want to let it dry so that I'll be able to put that CA in there without any issues. 7 people watching, and been on just under an hour. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, it's coming out good. I sure do like mesquite. It's a nice wood to turn. I just got almost a whole tree's worth fairly recently. Picked up a bunch of mulberry too from some big old historic trees in my town. So I'm gonna turn some bowls. I was accepted into the Arts Guild here in Boulder City, the little town I live in. So I'm gonna try to sell these historic tree bowls in the Boulder City Arts Guild. Kobe. R.I.P. Kobe. Too soon. All right. Let's get to filling some cracks. We got, let's say, one little hole. Not bad at all. Yeah, just really one crack we got to get filled. Let me switch the camera. I'll show you how I do this one. Pretty straightforward. Let's see how close up we can get. Hey, there we go. You can see there's one crack from the outside that came through. Actually, there's a couple little tiny pits that we're going to have to fill in. The other one, it's pretty hard to see. That's right through there. So what I like to do to begin with, if the cracks are really small and I'm kind of trying to accentuate them, I use a little, almost like a dental pick. Let's see where did I have it. I swear I just had it around here too. I picked it up and moved it, or it fell. Not to fear, I have another one. So just this right here. Since the crack's really small, I kind of want to open it up to allow for the CA to be able to kind of penetrate down into the crack. It's really easy to do. You just visually find where the crack starts, get the tip of it in there, and just gently drag it along the crack, and it'll basically just trace, or follow where that crack is and open it up a little bit so that you can get some of that CA down there, and you'll actually be able to see it. It's kind of a cool process too. You can, almost make your own cracks if you want to. Want to clear out any kind of debris that's stuck in there. There's a little one on the rim. Go ahead and get that one too. These ones should be good. They'll just take a little bit extra. There's a little pit right here. We'll clean up and fill in. So now that we've got that sanding sealer on there, it's got a nice barrier to protect over the end grain, which will keep that glue from seeping down inside and staining it. I'm using just the regular Starbond medium black, and I've got this really, really thin pipette on there, so it makes it easy to squeeze it out. Super, super controlled. I don't want to go really full. Put a bit in there, kind of let it sink down, do what it's going to do. And then I'll hit it with some accelerator. I like to use just really quick blasts of accelerator. I don't want it. I don't know if you have experience with other CAs where when you spray the accelerator, it bubbles up. And so if that happens, it's going to push all the glue out of there, and then we're going to end up with a bunch of voids. We sand it away, then you got to refill it. The goal with this is to kind of do it as few times as possible to get the job done, because it's really not fun. You got to sand it a lot of times. Once I get through this, I'm going to have to fully sand the bowl again. If I uncover that I haven't, filled these cracks properly, then I'm going to have to go through the whole process again. So that is one downside to turning wood with cracks in it that needs to be filled. But also at the same time, it really adds a cool element to it. So kind of trade-offs you have to decide, how much time you want to put into the bowl versus if you're selling it, how much time it's, going to be worth. In my case, I will be selling this bowl, but also at the same time, I really like to use local wood. And so I feel like this is kind of, sometimes the thing you have to do to preserve, the piece of wood that you want to use. So, it just depends on if it's worth it to you or not. Let's get our crack down here. You almost can't see it on the camera. I'll get some, I'm going to move it to the bottom here so that the CA doesn't run all over the place. Just really lightly applying the glue. I want it to seep down as much as it's, kind of going to want to. And then I'll hit it with a blast of accelerator check it and see if it's sunk down a little bit more, because the accelerator has a tendency to thin it out really quick before it dries up. So sometimes it'll spread and won't fill the voids all the way. So I always kind of inspect it, move the light a little bit from side to side, and change the angle that it's hitting so you can see if there's any shadow lines. This one looks good. This one looks good. I forgot we have this one on the rim. That's going to be a tricky one, but I'm up for the challenge. See if I can do it without taking the bowl off. The nice part about the medium is it doesn't run as much as the super thin does, so you can kind of get away with doing stuff like this. Cool. That's got it there. Let's switch over to the old chat. See what we got going on so far. If you have any questions about the filling process. I also use this powder called synthetic sand. It's really cool. You use that with the super thin CA, and it's a really, really fine powder. Almost like as fine as flour, and it finds any little crack it can, and then you drip the super thin CA and sucks right down. Oh, Carl's taking off. Thanks for watching, Carl. Thanks for the super chat too. I really appreciate that. Let's see, wood dentist. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think we're looking good. I like to let this stuff dry a little bit, because otherwise when you try to sand it, it's a little bit gummy. In the meantime, what we got going on there? Oh, Patrick's workshop. How you doing, Mr. Patrick? Cracking open the second one. You guys better watch out. About to get loose. What are some other kind of projects you guys would like to see turned? I mean, we could get in depth with it. We do a weekly series on basket illusion. We could do quick ones like loaded boxes, bowls start to finish, bowls with carved feet, all kinds of stuff. Magic wands. I like turning magic wands, tops. What do I think this bowl would go for? Let's see. Let me measure it. I'll tell you. So about 9¼ by 3.5 on this one. Let's see. I'd go about $85 on a bowl like this. Maybe $90. Gallery, I might charge a little more in the gallery because they're gonna take a bit of a cut. Somewhere around that area. If you're interested in the formula, it comes from Sam Angelo, the Wyoming wood turner. And I thought it was a really great idea because I always kind of struggled with what I should price my bowls at. But he does the diameter of the bowl times the height of the bowl times starting out at 2.5 to 3, somewhere around there. If you do a lot more embellishments and things, then you're going to want to charge more. If it's just sort of a regular basic bowl, you don't have to charge more. If it's got some fancy grain, maybe a little bit extra. But yeah, Sam Angelo, the Wyoming wood turner, he's a good guy. Well, check his channel out if you don't already subscribe. All right, let's see what we got here. I think we're good. Let me switch you over. Pull it back. Oh, I forgot about my light here. Yeah, now you can see those cracks really well. So it just kind of makes it stand out. I'm going to sand that CA off of there. I got a little cheater that works really good for this. I actually got this. I won this little thing at a contest at Woodcraft down in Phoenix. So it's a little Rikon right angle sanding tool. And to be honest, I thought it was some kind of like kind of a little gimmicky thing that I probably would never buy. But it has quite a bit of torque, and I like it a lot for doing the bottoms of the bowls with the carved feet. And for ripping off CA like this, it works really well. My only complaint is the pad that it comes with is really, really hard. So I had to order some extra ones, and they haven't got here yet. But it'll work for now. I just use this to kind of spot sand. Don't want to go too heavy with it. Just want to get that CA off of there. This is going to save from a lot of the sanding on the whole piece, because if you don't kind of get this CA glued down beforehand, it takes a really long time to sand it when you're sanding the whole entire bowl. So that's why I like to do this, just sort of take down the really heavy stuff, and then it's a lot easier to clean it up. That's what it's kind of hard to see, just see the back of this thing moving around, but I'll bring you in. There we go. And that's it for that one. And then I'll go back through the grits. I'm going to grab a new little length of 150 because it's going to have to rip through that sanding sealer, and it's going to clog up the sandpaper quite a bit. Here we go. I'm going to rip up my sanding sponge so it's a little bit smaller. Okay. All right. Yeah, it looks like all the CA held. No little pits to fill, which is nice. That's why sometimes I'll take it off, the CA off with this little shear scraper, but occasionally it will still grab it and kind of rip it out of the hole. I find that sanding it off like that is a lot more reliable of a way to make sure that you're not having to repeat the CA process a whole bunch of times. Now I gotta find my sandpaper order here. 400, 600, 320, 180. This must be 240. Cool. Reverser here. a little blast of air. $400. Blow it up. We'll hit with the 600. Cool. There we go. All done. Let's get some finish on there. We'll see what's happening in the old chat too. Good points. Only time involved. Yeah, give it a look. Colin's out of here. Cool, man. We'll see you. Thanks for stopping by. Let's get a little Mahoney's walnut oil is what I'll be putting on here. Touch up the outside too. All right. With the light, without the light. I guess it looks pretty good with the light too. I'm trying to give you guys the best view possible here. Yeah, this is a nice piece of wood. You can see our little filled in cracks. Let me see how close I can get you and still have it on the focus. A nice finish on the inside of this, nice and smooth. Yeah, I'm digging the filled cracks. How about the outside? I haven't really showed you guys the outside yet. We've got a nice shape on there. Some cracks on the outside to match. Cool. Yeah, she's looking good. Let me move my sandpaper. I'll use this once more for finishing off the bottom. Good on that stuff. Let's work on doing that. Kind of clear my work area here a bit. Cool. How's everybody doing so far? Enjoying the show? Be done soon. Get to use my vacuum truck too. Might be the loudest part of the whole process. Okay. Tool rest in the right position here. Put my tailstock back on. There we go. Get my vacuum chuck, or the chuck for the vacuum chuck, I should say. Okay, let me switch you back. Where did my I'm gonna pull the chuck off. I'm not gonna need it right now. I'll pull the ball out of the chuck. This is kind of cool. It's an adapter. So I did a lot of research on vacuum chucks and what to buy. I don't remember the guy's exact name, but he's a wood turner and machinist who made these adapters. So it threads on right on my 1.25" by 8 TPI, and it accepts PVC fittings. So 2" to whatever. It'll accept the 2". I think, yeah, that's a 2" ID, I believe, PVC fittings, and then I just made my own little sort of wooden adapter with some close-cell neoprene on there. I like to use silicone pot holder because sometimes I find this black neoprene mars the surface a little bit, especially when the oil is really fresh, like we just put it on here. So I'm going to put this in there, and that kind of takes care of that problem. I've marked the center on my tenon with my tailstock, so I'll be able to just slide this right up in place, and it'll get me pretty well centered right off the bat. Yeah, that's looking good. We'll crank it down. I'm going to test my vacuum pump real quick, make sure we're drawing a vacuum here. Yep. So for this process, I don't really need the vacuum on. I'm not going to turn the vacuum on until the very last little bit when I have to make the final cuts. I like to have tailstock support the whole time. It's just a safer way to turn. So let's get rolling on this. I'll take some breaks in between and answer any questions if you guys have them, but should be pretty straightforward here. I'll be able to figure out what I'm doing. I'll use a series of, kind of a series of different tools, starting out with just my regular 5/8 bowl gouge. I'll scrape a lot of the material away. Give it a spin, make sure it's going to clear everywhere. making nice light cuts. Always keeping the pressure of the tool inward towards the headstock to keep everything nice and tight. Occasionally I'll check and make sure my tailstock is snug. There we go. I like to taper the bottom inward just very slightly, so when it rests, it's only touching the very edge. That'll keep it from rocking. Okay, I'm going to switch to my 3/8 detail gouge. Looks like almost like a fluteless spindle gouge. That allows me to get right up into the corners. Okay, I'm getting pretty well close down to the very end here. Okay, I'm going to switch the vacuum pump on. I'm going to pull my tailstock away, and we're going to finish the bottom of this bowl. This is always the exciting part. So now that we have no support, it's always a little bit more stressful. I want to be very careful with the cuts that I take. I still have a decent amount of wood to remove, but I want to do it very, very gently so I don't knock this thing off. Watch it happen. Watch. Nice sharp tool. Very light cut. You don't want to rush it. You're right down to the end here. You don't want to blow it. Believe me. Hope you guys can hear me all right with this face shield on and my vacuum pump going. Now, if you don't have a vacuum pump, you can use your tailstock and one of these cone centers, and that'll allow you to get even closer up there. And then you can just finish it off with a little, get as close as you can, finish it off with a little handsaw, and then sand it. I'm going to switch the lathe off and check it. I'll take my bowl gouge, place it all the way across, and then just sight down it. I can see there's a little bit of a lump in the bottom, so I need to take some material away again. I'm going to switch. Since we're so close to the end, I'm going to switch to my teardrop scraper and just gently drag it backwards and get rid of the rest of the wood. Let's check it again. A little bit more. I'm going to put this probably pretty close. Yep, I think that'll do it. So next step, I'm going to put a couple little beads in the bottom, just to kind of show that I paid some attention to the bottom of the bowl. It's not just the bottom, it's also, another part of your piece. If you've taken your time, you filled these cracks in, you've made sure there's no lumps and bumps, you've turned a beautiful bowl. You want to pay attention to the bottom too and really complete the piece and just show that attention to detail. So I'm going to take my beading tool. I'll take my little detail gouge and cut it into the sides of those beads. Ooh, and then you do something like that. Not to worry though, that's what sandpaper's for. We'll drag it a little too. See if you can't clean that up. What I did was, I didn't quite have enough support behind the tool, and so it kind of skated back a little bit on me. Oh yeah, not too bad. A little bit more right in here that I want to clean up. Giving ourselves another little design opportunity. It's not a mistake. It's what Jimmy Cruz always tells me. It's not a mistake. It's a design opportunity. So we've given ourselves a little design opportunity there. And I think we handled it well. Check again, make sure everything's, oh yeah, we're good. So now I'm going to pull my sandpaper out, get it rolling with that. Put a finish on the bottom and I'll shut this lousy old pump off. I'll be putting this one in the bottom of my, or inside my laser engraver too, so I can laser engrave it on the bottom. I just got that all set up. I've been really enjoying it. Shout out to my buddy Patrick and my buddy Moy for hooking me up with that thing. Two more. Anybody got any questions out there? I'm almost done. I'll switch back and kind of pay attention to what the chat's got going on. A little hard to see it. And you guys. Gotta get it running down in all the cracks here. Whew. Well, guess that means we're done. All right. Think I can catch it? There we go. Let's get this out of the way here. I'll give you a close-up. Back you up a little bit. Let's see that. Got some got the cracks filled in with the black CA. There's the bottom. They're nice little detail rings. Showed that we paid attention to every part. Give some consideration to every piece of this bowl. Yeah, this is a nice piece of mesquite here. All right, let me switch over cameras. Go to the chat. Where's the chat? Eric Sanchez, do you ever just polish a bowl with no finish? You know, I've never done that. It would be interesting to see. I know a lot of people will do that with the, kind of burnish it really hard and it gives it a really nice shine. But I personally have not. I'm either use OB Shine Juice or I will use Mahoney's walnut oil for the most part. Zig Bear, what's up, Zig? How you doing? Long time no see. I think we met at the old what was it, the Skytook thing. I got my wood show sign right there from the Skytook event. What else? Anybody want to get a closer look at this? Maybe I'll switch cameras real quick and I'll give you extreme close up. It's hard to see exactly what I'm doing with the camera. There's our inside with our two filled cracks. There's a little filled hole there on the edge. Got a nice flowing curve to it. Big base, so I mean, nice utilitarian. That's thicker at the bottom, so it'll weight it. You know, make it nice and stable. These cool filled cracks all the way throughout it. Yeah, would be nice if we got a little bit more of that feather figure from the crotch, but that's all right. Still a really nice bowl. Who else is out there? Yes, I am making the bowl to sell. I could auction it off right now. But yeah, it's definitely for sale. I'm working on getting my kind of online site set up so I can hopefully sell a few things that way. Man, this coronavirus knocked out 2 shows that I was going to do, and then a commission for a local brewery that they got shut down. Everything in all non-essential businesses in the state of Nevada are shut down right now, and that includes casinos. Every single casino, every single slot machine, everything in the whole state is shut down. So yeah, I figured, man, people are probably gonna be home looking for something to do. I better get on here and, you know, set up these live shows and hopefully entertain some people, and then I'll be able to have some, you know, turn some bowls that'll stock my online store. Thank you very much. It's a nice. I love mesquite. I'll post a. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, look me up on Instagram at bworthland. I'll post a picture or a few pictures of the completed bowl on there. Once the live show is over, I'll just type in the outside chat. Yeah, I had fun. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. I'm glad you guys were here, you know, talking and interacting. It's always fun to do these live shows. I was thinking about keeping it rolling. There's only 6 people watching. I got maybe my buddy Nick Ferry could come back on. You know, we can kind of answer some questions or whatever. Let me see if I can get anybody in here to hang out with us. In the meantime, what's everybody else doing out there? Anybody more questions or anything like that? All right, looks like Nick's going to join us in a little bit. Here's the join. Join him, send it out to Carl Jacobson and Jason Roush, my podcast co-hosts. So maybe one of those guys, if they're not doing anything, will stop in and say hi. Let's see, who else is out there? Yeah, I miss Nick too. I've been talking to him a bunch, so we're trying to get some stuff rolling with videos and things. Let's see. Winston. Hi, Winston. Can you explain what burl really is and how you turn it when it's figured super odd? Burl is like kind of like a scar on a tree. Let me get one. Hold on. I guess there's different kinds of burl, I should say, too. So. So this is a little piece of mesquite burl. And so this would be the regular outside of the tree. And this is sort of like a scar on the tree. Something happened to damage it or cut it, and the wood started kind of growing really weird. I don't know if you can see it super well. But, just the grain just sort of grows all over the place, really weird. There's not a really specific direction to it. You turn it just with really sharp tools. Nice sharp bowl gouge. Usually the best way to do it. Depends on what kind of burl it is. If it's harder, really dense, then you might be able to get away with a carbide tool to cut it. But typically you want a nice sharp bowl gouge. That's going to be the best way to get the cleanest finish on it. Yeah, there's also like root burls. That's where, just the mass of roots grow out from the bottom of the tree. But traditionally a burl that people think about would be sort of a big growth on the side of a tree that you chainsaw it off and make stuff with it. Yeah, Nick hasn't been doing too many videos. I haven't either. I actually have 2 all filmed, ready to go, edited. Just need to make a couple of thumbnails and upload them. So keep an eye out for those in the next week or so. There'll be like quick lathe tips, chucking bowls, things like that. What are you doing, Winston? Hanging out or what? Where's Storm at? Is she watching too? Hi, Storm. Kind of like a bone spur, I guess. Yeah, probably. Less painful than a bone spur, I would say. Yeah, this was fun. I need to get another piece of wood chucked up or something. Maybe I'll try to figure out a little bit better schedule so people will know when I go live, and maybe I can get some more viewers on them too. It's really nice out. 56, kind of cool in the garage. Hi. 7 people watching now. Run it up. Hit that like button. Hit the share button. Let's get a few more people in here. How much you use carbide tools compared to high speed steel? I only have, I have 3 different carbide tools. They're all kind of in the same line of tools, and they're not actually, I take that back. I do have a regular Easy Wood carbide tool, the mini one. I got this for my son, so if he ever gets into it, he'll be able to turn tops and things like that, because they're definitely really forgiving. But the carbide tools I have are for hollowing, and so the cutters that they use are a little bit different than a traditional carbide cutter. You can see, hopefully you can see inside there that it sort of got a little cup to it. Let me switch cameras. Might be able to get a little bit more detailed shot on the other one. It's gonna be hard to see, huh? It's focusing on me too much. I swear I can. There we go. So it's got a little cup to it, the cutter itself. So it's actually severing the wood fibers. It's cutting it. It's not really scraping it like a traditional carbide does. It's angled down to take advantage of that cutter and put it in kind of a real friendly angle as it's cutting along. It's not going to be like a self-feeding cut. It's got a little shoulder here on it also that you can almost ride on, and it acts like a bevel, and it won't allow you to make the too big of cuts. That little notch right there, you can see. So I have two versions of this one. This is the mate tool. This is the Mega Mate. It's a big 5/8 bar for doing really heavy hollowing. This is the original mate tool. It's got the same style of cutter on the end of it, but just a little bit less heavy duty for smaller things. And then I also have, here it is. I'm sure I just grabbed it. A hook tool, and this got the same style of cutter on it, but it's hooked for hollow forms, getting around the entry of hollow forms, so you can hollow them out. So these are the carbide cutters that I mainly use, and I'm really only using them on extremely hard things like this mesquite. I definitely could have hollowed it with a bowl gouge, but it would have taken a lot of trips to the sharpening wheel, and it would have been really hot and not as enjoyable as it was to just melt it away with those that mate tool. But yeah, and my tool is high-speed steel. I don't have really many high-speed steel. These are a different steel category. It's higher end than high-speed steel, so it'll hold the edge longer. It's like a powdered metal. If you're interested in that kind of stuff at all, WTA podcast that I host with Carl and Jason, we recently did an episode where somebody had a question about the different tool steels, so we kind of went into that a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty intense when it comes to the different kind of tool steels, and people get into it. Weekly Braxton show, that would be fun. Starting to learn a skew now. Take it slow on those ones that are a little bit. They got a learning curve to them for sure. But once you get into the traditional tools, you really can't match the cut quality. I like EasyWood tools for the ease of use. You can get a lot of people into turning, but if you really get into it, then you'll probably eventually want to upgrade to a nice bowl gouge or whatever else, and it's really gonna take the finishes on your bowls to the next level, because there's nothing like a nice sharp bowl gouge and you're just riding the bevel and just super clean cuts. Let's see. Looks like Nick just joined us here. Let me add him to the stream. There we go. I think maybe.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Oh, dang it. I keep removing him.
Can you hear me?
Hold on. There we go. Gotcha.
You can hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me now? Good.
I can hear you now.
What's going on? How did it turn out? I wasn't able to watch it. I was finishing up some stuff. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it came out nice.
Oh, that's a sizable one too.
Yeah, it's not super huge. 9 1/4 by 3 1/2. We got some.
No, but that's still a decent size for a mesquite bowl.
We got some little cracks in there that I filled with black CA, and yeah, it came out nice. The rim's got a little angle to it, sort of draws your fingers in as you're holding it.
Oh, nice.
But out in the chat, we got our buddy Zig. I don't know if you remember him from the Skytook. He was out at Skytook Adventure talking to everybody. I believe he was there with his wife, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
I don't remember him. I'm sure if I had a face, I'm sure I would. But
yeah.
But it's awesome now, because now I realize there's a live chat. I clicked it. I was on the private one.
Oh, yeah, you can see it now. You know what else is kind of cool? I can go like this.
Hey, cool.
Hey, and Nick, and it pops right up there. There's a little thumbnail. It's kind of hard to see him. But.
No, that is decent. I like that.
Yeah.
What is my thumbnail? I'm going to turn my camera off once. Yep, that's about par for the course.
Yep. See what the old Patrick, so I was trying to get him in here too.
Oh yeah, Patrick of Patrick Workshop. That can.
That can.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm getting burnt out for tonight. Is that all you're doing? Is that mesquite bowl? You're calling her quits after that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Trying to figure out what the next project I'll turn live is. Chuck it, Winston says. Copy, chucking.
I don't know.
It's my buddy Winston, who I worked on at the Mob Museum with.
Oh, okay.
We had a good old time doing that one.
That was a really cool project. Are you able to share pictures of that, like from this?
Well, I don't really have any pictures right now to share, but I could.
Oh, okay.
I filmed a bunch of stuff. I thought about making a little YouTube video about it. I guess I still could. I still have the footage. But I didn't know, like, what they would say about it. But it's been, so long now. It probably doesn't matter. I was going to call it, like, My Time in the Mob or something like that. Inside the Mafia. Yeah, Las Vegas, Inside the Mafia. Get some some SEO going from that. I wanted to, like, blur my face, and mess with my voice. And I could move out of the blur. Are you sure this is working, guys? You sure you can't see who I am?
Yeah,
I don't want to know. Yep. Yeah, it'd be fun. Oh, yeah, Winston reminded me we were on TV for 4 seconds. On the Tanked show, they put in Tank people put in a big fish tank at the Mob Museum. So me and Winston were, like, fake working while they were filming us. And then they took credit for all our work. The Tanked people took credit for all the work that we did, which was nice.
Yikes. Yeah, I don't know how to feel on that one.
Let's keep that between us and the 5 people watching. Hey, Patrick, why don't you jump in here? We're having a good time.
Yeah. You betcha.
I guess, or we're just talking. Pushing about 2 hours now. I'll give it a few more minutes, and then maybe we'll just call it a night.
Yeah.
Any last-minute questions or comments or concerns from the audience out there?
I don't know if you saw it from earlier, but Eric Sanchez said that this would be cool for a weekly thing for you.
I did see that. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I think it would be weekly or bi-weekly or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get a bunch of channels involved too.
Yeah, it would be.
Because, like, I know I just finished editing up a video. I'll have a video out tonight or tomorrow.
Nice.
I mean, nothing super spectacular, but I had quite a people request with the Corvid, Rona, whatever the heck you're calling it,
Yeah.
They're like, a lot of people are at home. So I was like, yeah, I'll show you what I'm working on. Why not?
Yep, that was kind of the idea tonight.
Yeah.
Figure out how to go live and see how it would go.
Well, here, I'll give your audience a sneak peek into what my video will be.
All right, let's see it.
But let's see here. So I slotted a bolt and counterbored and tapped it, and that acts as a really, really nice leveling foot on the bottom of a desk.
Oh, cool.
And you can put a little felt pad, leather pad, whatever on there. Oh, actually, I have a cross section. Give me one moment, because I just finished filming the video, so I have all this stuff in front of me.
Nice. Hey, thank you, Eric. Have a great night, too. Thanks for joining in. Check me out on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Keep up to date on that, and I'll let you know when I'm posting. Going to do more live shows. Kind of maybe give it a little bit more notice, too.
So that's
Oh, wow.
cross
That's
section
awesome.
there. So then you can just take a screwdriver and adjust your little, you wouldn't have it out that far, but you could have it down all the way to, flat.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Because the whole premise of the table for this design is that something sits flat on the floor. I didn't even want little feet raising it up.
Uh-huh.
And I know that you're never going to get two squares or two rectangles to on a flat floor in a house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Eric, I'll take some pictures of this as soon as we're done here and post them. Probably throw it in the laser tonight and get it engraved as well. Hopefully, if it'll fit in there, it should.
I was going to say, how much Z height do you have?
It doesn't like have any. It doesn't go up and down at all. So it's just wherever you position the piece underneath it, and there's like a specific focal length. So from where the laser is to the bottom of the bed of the machine is probably 4, maybe 4.5 inches. I'll have to measure it and see. I ought to be able to fit this one under there though.
That looked really nice. I saw that on your Instagram. You did your before when you hand versus your and it looked like a completely different person selling it. It like a studio versus Joe out of his garage.
Right, that's kind of what I was going for too.
Yeah. I'm surprised your signature is as clean as it is, because I know a lot of people sign like they're in second grade.
Oh. That's how I write, but my actual signing is pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But all right, we got about hit 2 hours, so I think I'll call it a night here. But thanks for popping in, Nick. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks everybody out in the chat for joining me along this ride. I'll let you know when I do another one. Definitely, if you got any suggestions on what I should turn, let me know. Leave a comment on this video or Instagram or whatever, and I'll add them to the list. So, all right, we'll see everybody later. Bye.
Clicky.
Clicky, clicky, maybe. Here we go. All right, bye.